So often in the Truth Network, the term elite is used to describe the people at the top of the shadow power pyramid. However, these societal parasites certainly don't deserve that word ascribed to them. This secret government has inflicted untold suffering on all of us, as well as literally murdered millions of people. They've done the former in many ways, including, but not limited to, turning the money supply into a debt-based model which has enslaved the world's people to a system which funnels much of the resources directly to them. Hijacking the banking infrastructure so that most of the profits made by what should be a public utility are not reinvested into local communities, but instead are further enriching themselves. Monopolizing medicine so that natural and cheap substances are either vilified or suppressed, which are then replaced with toxin-rich derivatives from plants and bacteria, as well as synthetics in general, that can be patented and sold at prices which further deprive the people of not just their wealth, but their health too. Infiltrating governmental affairs so that macro policy decisions are determined by either the puppets they situate, or the corporate lobbyists who write the policy and package it with legal donations, and using their corporate-controlled media to shape the mindset of the masses with false and harmful narratives on life. In summary, this can be referred to as the 4 M's: money, banking and finance, medicine, prescriptive and preventative practice, including food, management, government and policy, and media, information dissemination and public discourse. Unfortunately, when you control these societal mechanisms, you control society itself, and when we look at all the suffering, disenfranchisement, and dishonor that these 4 areas have inflicted on all of us, the people need an effective, collective response. Furthermore, this obviously doesn't include the deaths of millions of people from illegal, unethical, and outright unnecessary wars over our relatively recent history. The lies, deception and false flags which have sent our fellow men and women into fights designed for resource and power consolidation is an absolute disgrace to humanity's legacy, especially when we're now at a point where we can live in abundance and peace if we simply designed our civilization in that way. All of this illustrates as clear as day that these people, these so-called leaders, are as far as you can get from the elite in our society. So who then are the elite? Well, there's a solid argument that we are all elite, even those who have heavy karma weighing on their souls, because we are all a part of the interconnected life energy which is the creative force in our reality. Yet, there's a more practical version too. The true elite in our society are simply the authentic men and women. Why? Well, let's take a look at the definition of elite and then critique it, shall we? Meanings for elite. Noun. 1. Often used with a plural verb, the choice or best of anything considered collectively, as of a group or class of persons. 2. Used with a plural verb, persons of the highest class. Only the elite were there. 3. A group of persons exercising the major share of authority or influence within a larger group. The power elite of a major political party. 4. A type, approximately 10-point in printing type size, widely used in typewriters and having 12 characters to the inch. Adjective. 5. Representing the most choice or select, best. An elite group of authors. The first definition states that, the choice or best of anything considered collectively, as of a group or class of persons. What is the choice or best of referring to in the context of humanity? In our current age of information and consciousness expansion, we've reached a beautiful balance where we know both scientifically and philosophically that we are all an individual expression of the one thing. This means that no one is inherently better than anyone else. However, it is also true that we are all developed in different ways and to various degrees. Therefore, even though no one is fundamentally better than anyone else, we may be more advanced than another person in specific ways, such as compassion, but they might, for example, be more refined in communication than we are. This is where the authentic person comes in. If we aim to connect with both our strengths and weaknesses, and are real to ourselves in response, we are a genuine person who recognizes that we are not better than others, we are simply on our own journey of empowerment and awakening, just like everyone else is. Simply, the best of humanity are those individuals who do not just face themselves for who they really are, but create with it too, instead of looking down on others for whatever reason they feel justified to make themselves feel better about themselves. The result: unity and community, not disconnection and degradation. The second definition is persons of the highest class. Now, of course, class is not referring to material wealth, for as we all should know by now, the monetary system is a scam. People consistently inherit blood money, and there are many sickos who hoard wealth and use it to obtain power and resources in unhealthy and undeveloped ways. Therefore, class in this context should refer to the definition of high quality, integrity, status, or style. When we consider high quality human traits, this translates into a person or group of persons who don't just apply respect and honor towards themselves, but also their fellow man and the environment they live in. And that obviously reflects the authentic person. The third and final definition which is relevant to this discussion is a group of persons exercising the major share of authority or influence within a larger group. This one can be better understood by beginning with the concept that real power isn't power over others, it's self-empowerment. Simply, real authority is honoring our self-determining power, which then transforms into respecting it in others. In addition, most people in the truth movement understand that law does not necessarily equal ethics, which means that anybody who makes or enforces law is not guaranteed automatic respect, like they somewhat used to be. That's not to say they don't deserve respect, because many who work for our sick system are just ignorant to what they truly stand for and are doing their best with the understanding they have to provide a genuine community service. Regardless, the so-called authority in our society is not really authority at all. Ultimately, those individuals who are authentically connecting with and representing the expansion of our collective consciousness are the real power brokers, the real influence, in our society. This elite level of authority may be subtle, instead of explicit, but make no mistake, it is the most powerful and influential form of authority in our current age. Final thoughts. Humanity is moving towards an unprecedented stage of its collective consciousness, where truth and individual sovereignty will inevitably reign supreme. This expansion has not just been decades, but centuries in the making. Given the opposite is also true, where a new dark age of deception is upon us, it takes a highly empowered individual to rise above the lies of the official narratives to genuinely connect with not just the greater truths of the external world, but the internal realm too. These individuals are the genuine group of elite humans who we should all look to for not leadership, but guidance in becoming our own more authentic self. Moreover, no one is fully awake to the realities and ongoing creation of our world. The authentic man or woman may be an example for us to aspire to, but no one is or ever will be without an opportunity to further enrich their state of awareness, including how it's translated into their actions. In this sense, we're all the same. We're all imperfectly perfect.